Hey humans, today we've got something very interesting to talk about, and if this turns out to be real, it could completely change what's coming in Update 30. Now just to be clear, this is not official, but it's something we recently discovered online. And trust me, you're going to want to see this and stay until the end to figure it out together. But before we dive in, there's a permanent dark giveaway happening right now in my Discord server. So if you want a chance to win, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell, because who knows, it might just increase your chances. And of course, don't forget to join the Discord. The link is in the pinned comment. Now, let's get into it. So, in one of my previous videos, we already talked about this topic, but I need to clear something up first because I actually made a mistake back then. At the time, I thought this image right here was showing something completely new that we hadn't seen before. Later on, I realized it wasn't exactly new. It was actually the Dragon Update thumbnail, just inverted. That part alone already changes the context a lot. However, here's where things get really interesting. And this is the part I want you to pay close attention to. If you look closely at the Blox Fruits logo text in that thumbnail, specifically underneath it, you can clearly see a fruit with horns. And that fruit is very obviously meant to represent the flame fruit. Now, this immediately raises a huge question, because if you check the current flame fruit in-game, it does not have horns at all. Not on the model, not in the icon, nowhere. So why is flame suddenly being shown with horns? Now, before anyone says this is just a random design choice, here's the important part. Blox Fruits has been doing this exact same thing for multiple recent updates. They often tease future content far ahead of time through thumbnails, promotional images, and background details that most players don't even notice. And in many cases, those teasers end up becoming official content later on. That means this isn't just speculation for no reason, this is a pattern. Because of that, the horned flame fruit being shown there strongly suggests that the developers are already way ahead of us, likely sitting on a lot of finished or near-finished content that simply hasn't been released yet. Before we continue, are you looking for a cheap and affordable way to buy permanent fruits? Then let me introduce you to Bloxy Fruit Store, where everything's cheaper. They've got almost every popular Roblox game covered, so you'll definitely find what you're looking for. And on top of that, it's the easiest and fastest way to buy any item you want. You can also buy Bloxy points and exchange it for more Robux. For example, if you want a permanent ice fruit, click checkout, fill in your details, and once you've completed your purchase, don't forget to use the code REAL to get a 5% discount. After that, you will receive your ticket confirmation in your email and click on Claim Order. Now search your Roblox name and confirm. After that, copy your order ID and go to Discord. Go to Claim Order channel and claim order. Choose your language and input your order ID. And boom, your item will be delivered directly to you. What are you waiting for? Check out now. Link is in description. One of the most likely candidates is a flame fruit rework. Not just a small visual update, but a full rework, similar to what we've seen with other fruits recently. And think about it for a second. The developers have already reworked several major fruits, completely upgrading their visuals, animations, VFX, and combat flow. So it would actually make perfect sense for Flame, one of the most iconic and oldest fruits in the game, to eventually receive the same treatment. What makes this even more interesting is that if Flame is getting this level of attention, then it probably won't stop there. There's a very real chance that many common and uncommon fruits, especially the ones with outdated abilities and basic move sets, are also planned for future reworks. And based on every reworked fruit we've gotten so far, one major feature keeps showing up: new M1 combat systems. So imagine older fruits finally getting proper M1s, smoother combos, modern animations, and updated effects that actually feel satisfying to use. Now let's take this a step further. If Blox Fruits really is preparing all these reworks behind the scenes, that opens the door for something else as well: more frequent, smaller updates. Instead of waiting months for one massive update, We could start seeing weekly or mini updates focused on individual fruit reworks, balance changes, or limited time events. And speaking of events, imagine if they take inspiration from something like the Leviathan Hunt. Events designed for multiple players, where the whole server can participate together. That kind of content not only makes the game more fun, but also brings back that sense of adventure and teamwork that a lot of players miss. Now just imagine this for a moment. Picture Blox fruits after every fruit has been reworked. Every single one with polished visuals, unique M1s, insane VFX, and movesets that actually feel powerful and smooth. No outdated abilities, no boring animations, just clean, modern combat across the entire game. At that point, Blox fruits would feel like a completely different experience compared to what we started with years ago. And finally, there's one more thing we can't ignore, the new sea, possibly the fourth sea, which was already partially revealed on the map by a game admin. Even though we only saw a small portion of it, the scale alone looked massive. That strongly suggests a huge expansion is coming, and it lines up perfectly with the idea that the developers are locking in for the long term. So with all of that combined, the Hidden Flame teaser, unreleased reworks, potential small updates, large-scale events, and a massive new sea, it's honestly not an exaggeration to say that 2026 could be one of the biggest years in Blox Fruit's history. And if this is just what we're seeing on the surface, imagine what they're still keeping hidden. So basically, humans, there are no official leaks for the fourth sea yet. However, I think we can actually consider this one a soft leak, and that's because it came directly from admin Uzoth. In this image right here, we can clearly see the entire map layout, showing the first sea, second sea, and third sea. And what makes this interesting is how accurate everything looks. The positioning, the scale, and the structure all match what we already know about the current seas. But if you look closely on this side of the image, you'll notice something very important. There's a massive island, and when I say massive, I mean this thing is as big as multiple First Sea islands combined. This immediately raises questions because there is no existing sea event that is even close to this size. This island is way too big to be something like a raid zone or a temporary event. I mean, this thing literally looks like an entire sea by itself, and that's why I strongly believe this could be the fourth sea. Another reason why this makes sense is the server limit. There are only 12 players per server, so creating an island this large just for an event wouldn't make sense at all. Events are meant to be fast, replayable, and compact, not something that takes up this much space on the map. Now, personally, I think if this really is the fourth sea, it's going to be heavily inspired by Wano. We could see islands that are very close to each other, unique environments, and a more connected world compared to the older seas. Of course, it won't be a direct copy, since we already know Blox Fruits has been slowly drifting away from One Piece to avoid potential issues. But the inspiration could still be there. So now I want to know what you think. Do you believe this image is teasing the fourth sea? Or do you think it's just a massive event island, even though honestly, that doesn't really make sense? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So at this point, it really comes down to two possibilities. Either this new sea is almost ready to be released, or it's still deep in development and will take a lot more time to fully finish. However, considering the fact that the developers, or more specifically the admins, already showed an image of it, that alone tells us something important. You don't usually reveal something this big unless it's either close to completion or at least stable enough to tease. This image could mean that the fourth sea is already mostly done, and they're just polishing it, adding details, and testing everything behind the scenes. On the other hand, it could also be a preview build, something they created specifically to let the community know, yes, this is real, and yes, it's coming, even if it's not ready yet. Right now, the image only shows red, mountain-like terrain, which suggests that what we're seeing is either a base environment or just one section of the entire sea. That makes me believe there's a lot more that hasn't been revealed yet. But that's pretty much for today's video, and we will probably get any news soon, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching and have a good day, humans. Bye-bye.